Hey buddy, hope you guys doing alright. So, I have other ideas I haven't shared. I don't want to share because I don't feel right sharing those particular ideas because they're of a little bit more of a sensitive nature. But this particular idea is just about, so as far as like helping out with the war-torn countries and the transportation of people that are from these countries to safer locations and just getting good supplies where they're needed most. We could also, not to mention the submarines, which you could just have regular big old sailboats like they used back in the day. And they maybe, I think they still, I mean, I've seen pictures of them, so I know that they still use them at least for recreational uses. But anywho, I love sailboats and stuff, and using the wind and harnessing the natural elements of the world to get us from place to place without killing the world. So I don't mind using sailboats, and you could essentially, these each would be giant. So that would be the sailboat. That's like one of the large pirate sailboats you've seen in the fucking movies. Sorry about my language. So each one of these would be one of the large pirate boats, and they would each, two of them could tow one of these giant hemp water filters. Not just hemp, but whatever else you could use to help filter out the water of the oceans. And while they're transporting, civilians and goods from point A to point B, they could be filtering out the ocean. And then also right here in the middle, you could also have like an electrical water generator or turbine. And while it's being towed through the ocean, it'd be spinning a turbine, which could also generate electricity, which could be stored. You could have that hooked up to a wire which was connected to the ship, which could store power into a battery to be used later, which would just perpetuate more clean energy. So in addition to that, you can also develop a way to possibly have some type of a buoy system or a net system. And you could, depending on where you are, if there's any type of plastic bottles floating on top of the surface, you could try and also like tow a net that just hits the top of the surface and collects all of the plastic bottles into, one giant heap. They've already got nets like this that I've seen online that they're using already. And this could just be it's just another way of helping implement a way to clean up the plastic bottles is by, in addition to the hemp filters and the water turbine, the transportation of goods and people from point A to point B, you can also, where you can, clean up the plastic bottles. And then with the giant suction tubes that I showed with on the submarine, it's a possibility that you could actually upfit one of those into the sailboats or get one of the submarines themselves to come up to the top surface and literally just suck out all the plastic bottles that have been accumulated with these buoys through one of the giant suction tubes. And because it's above the surface, there's not going to be any chance of you sucking up any fish because the fish are going to be underneath the water. So if you just got all the bottles in one big bunch, you could just come in there with a giant suction thing and suck up all the water bottles, or even some of the garbage that gets sucked up too. In addition to all of this, you'd still be dragging around these giant filters. I mean, this is the size of a giant sailboat, essentially, and these are just way bigger than the sailboat, too. So there'd be a lot of water filtration going on. These are all bunched together because I don't really have much room. And again, this isn't the most, this is a very chicken scratchy type drawing, but it's a good idea. And because it's an idea it has nothing to do with making money or anything like that, I have no problem sharing it with the world. Because if my opponents, the enemy, whatever you want to call it, the resistance, wants to, make a bunch of giant sailboats that clean up the ocean, feel free, more the better. So I have no problem sharing these type of ideas. But again, I do have other ideas of a more sensitive nature that I don't feel comfortable sharing online. So I'm not going to do so. But ideas like this, I have no problem. I actually enjoy sharing them. So, all right. I love you guys. Hope you have a good day. Thanks. Bye.